The Calgary Flames are off to a red-hot start. Is there anything that can slow them down?
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I am your host, Jess, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. I want to talk with you guys all about this red-hot start that the Flames are on and just how unprecedented this is and just how incredible it was to watch them beat the Edmonton Oilers in the flesh. But also, I just want to say happy belated Thanksgiving. I hope you all enjoyed your nice dinners, time with family, and you took time to pay, your gratitude. Make sure you are subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We are here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. And my goodness, I don't even know what to say other than what a way to start the year. That comeback win against the Canucks was something so, you couldn't have scripted that. And I am so impressed that they beat two playoff teams, as well as a team that, the team that made it to the Stanley Cup final. And obviously, you got to be pretty good to make it to the Cup final. But 3-0. What? And it is a very long season. We know this. We know that things ebb and flow and can change at the drop of a dime. But the way that they are starting out is so promising. And even just for the long-term picture, the way Honzek's performing is absolutely incredible. Even if he hasn't found the back of the net yet, that's fine. He's still going out there and applying pressure and being, a productive member of the team. Connor Zary with that overtime winner, and then, Martin Pospisil. We're going to talk about him a little bit later, but Jonathan Huberdeau has 5 points in 3 games. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Jonathan Huberdeau has 5 points in 3 games. And he's tied with Rasmus Andersson, and Huberdeau has more goals and Andersson has more assists, but they're both tied at 5 points, which is so crazy to think about because Huberdeau went the entire month of December 2023 without a point up until the final game of the month. So let's hope something like this is going to continue and is sustainable, because I like what we're seeing. And it does kind of make me a little nervous for the longer term picture, but there's still so much more hockey to be played that, you just got to live in the moment and appreciate the good hockey that the Flames are giving us. The underwhelming addition of the offseason was, that sounds so mean. I don't mean it like underwhelming, like, wow, the Flames, like, that's all they did. But the unexpected and, kind of out of the blue signing was Anthony Mantha. I didn't really know what another 30-year-old player was going to do for the Flames. We have already seen this. And he was brought in to get Huberdeau going. They're going to play together, and, they've trained together, they've played together. We're going to get Huberdeau going. Anthony Mantha had a Gordie Howe hat trick in his first game. He obviously did not like that hit on Kevin Rooney against the Canucks, and he was fine getting in a fight, and he scored a goal and an assist. So He completed the Gordie Howe hat trick in his first game as a Flame. And I think that kind of sends a message to this locker room this year. It happened in the preseason as well. But players are answering for bad hits. Or, JT Miller isn't like, it's not like he threw a dirty hit. It was a clean hit. But the emotions were high. Kevin Rooney almost had to be stretchered out. Of course, your teammates are going to be riled up. And that hit on Rooney was unnecessary. So he answered to that. And there was someone, I believe it was Grishnikov in the preseason that just went and retaliated on, I want to say it was the Kraken. And it was just so surprising because I feel like the Flames have not had someone answer, quote unquote, since I don't know when. I feel like it's been a very long time, but I feel like it is unfortunately the good part of hockey, or a part of hockey that you have to have. You have to have someone that's willing to drop the gloves and go read Boy on Ice if you haven't. And, the more you learn about head injuries with enforcers or professional athletes, the less enjoyable the fights become. But I do want to just say that Sharangovich has not played a single game for the Flames this season, and look how good the Flames are doing. What's going to happen when he comes back? Kevin Rooney on IR as well. So he's taking it slow. They're going to take it slow with him. He's not, being rushed back, being monitored closely. And hopefully we'll have some sort of update with Sharangovich before we know it. But coming up next, we are actually going to continue to talk about Yegor Sharangovich because there are a lot of questions about his return and what it could mean for some of the players on the team. But we will be right back after this. Guys, sometimes intimate moments happen spontaneously, and we always want to be ready so we can perform in the bedroom. Hims provides access to treatments that can help you stay hard and last longer, giving you the boost of confidence so you can be ready whenever the mood strikes. Your sex life is important, but your schedule is busy. You don't have time to go to the doctor's office to get treated for ED. Through Hims, you can get a personalized ED treatment without stepping foot outside of your door. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints and Viagra and Cialis and their generics for up to 95% cheaper. Just answer a series of questions on their website, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment for you. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. No insurance is needed and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Start your free online visit at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. HIMS.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See our website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Prices vary based on product and subscription plan. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you are following me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. I am having such a good time watching the Flames. which was not expected. This season has just kind of been expected to be a wash. Everyone kind of predicted this season to be a redo of the San Jose Sharks season from last year, which was not a good season. And I think right now the Flames are in such a pickle, but like not really, because it's the start of the season. There is so much hockey to be played. The playoffs are not happening tomorrow. The playoffs are not happening in 6 weeks from now. They are happening 6 months from now. So I think it's important to just remember that we have a long road ahead of us. Let's not get ahead of ourselves unless they win and we're going to plan the parade after every win. No, I'm just kidding. But let's manage those expectations and remember what the long-term plan here is. And I kind of just wanted to talk about Yegor Sharangovich being out because it got me thinking. The Flames are playing this good without him after just signing him to a contract extension. Not really an issue. But what happens when he comes back? Is Honzek going to be the odd man out? Because it doesn't feel like it. And, Matt Coronato's kind of also an easy answer. But Honzek and Sharangovich aren't really fourth line players. And every other line is playing well. I don't think it makes sense to, rob Peter to pay Paul sort of situation here. And I'm looking at the lineup for tonight's game against Chicago, and I'm not really sure I would put really any of these players on the fourth line. Say you take out Coronato and move. No, there's just not a world where I'm comfortable putting Honzek on the fourth line. I prefer Adam Klapka on that line. Matt Coronato, very, very nice person, but he a very good hockey player, but he just does not fit on that line. That fourth line, he is so small compared to those guys. He does not play the same style game as them, and he just looks like the odd man out. But there is a spot for him somewhere on this team at some point. All right. But Sharangovich, obviously, I would say you put him on your top line. Then you're going to have to move around your top line. Where are you putting Sam Honzek? Where are you putting him? Are you putting him back in the AHL? I could see maybe if he goes stagnant for a little bit and kind of hits that wall that all players hit in their first year. It's bound to happen, but I don't think we need to rush anything. And it's all about letting the kids play. We have been waiting for this for so long, and it's happening. But I don't know how you are able to keep everyone, because you're not going to be able to. And I want to, let me see if I can pull up the lines again here. So to me, it doesn't make sense to completely reshuffle the lines unless you're seeing something that I'm not Ryan Huska, other than the obvious answer with that fourth line. So your top line is Honzek, Kadri, Kuzmenko. Let's say you put Kuzmenko on the left, Kadri, Sharangovich. I really like the Huberdeau, Pospisil, and Mantha line. There's no room for Honzek there. Zary, Backlund, and Coleman. Honzek's not a center, and that line is doing pretty well. Lomberg, Kirkland, and Coronato. Coronato he just does not fit in with that line, and I think he would do a lot better if he played a little bit higher up in the lineup. So, maybe you do put Honzek on the fourth line because he does have the ability to, apply more pressure, and he does have an offensive edge. So you would be getting scoring from all your lines. But at the same time, do you want to put him in a situation where he's only playing 9-10 minutes a night? I don't think so. I think that he is a player that has shown a tremendous amount of growth, and you need to just stick with it and ride it out. Someone has to come out of this lineup, and it is likely going to be Matthew Coronato. Or, Adam Klapka, I think, fits in like a puzzle piece on that fourth line. I don't know where he is. He didn't dress for Saturday or Sunday's game, and I haven't really seen anything unless I have completely missed something, but I find that highly unlikely. Maybe he's just scratched. It is what it is with that. But putting Sharangovich back into this lineup is going to cost you something. But I don't think it should come at the cost of another player's development. There's always going to be some sort of, middle ground, but I don't feel like you need to just have Honzek on that line. Like you have to do something. And do you send Coronato down to the AHL? I don't know. The Wranglers won the other day, first win of the season. They lost pretty badly on Friday night. I would expect them to start making, not big changes. They just put or sent Jaden Lipinski to his WHL team, which stinks because, he was kind of meant to have a continuation of showing what he can do at center and as a pro. So this is just a situation you have to keep an eye on. And maybe tonight will provide us like more clarity. Like maybe there is a shakeup in the lines, and then it becomes a little more obvious where you would put Sharangovich or move players around to put them in new homes. I will have to see, and we'll talk about that, again, either tomorrow or later in the week when there's a better idea of what things are looking like. And I feel like jumping to conclusions after 3 games is unhelpful. But coming up next, we are going to be talking about the youth and just how well things are looking for them. And we will be right back after this. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Maybe you want to place a bet that the Flames are going to win the Stanley Cup. Maybe you want to bet a future on, Dustin Wolf winning the Calder. Who knows what could be in store for you? Go check out FanDuel.com, and you will get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com. Thanks, everyone, for making Locked On Flames part of your day. I hope that you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And we're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. Dustin Wolf, man. He had a huge Saturday night. He came up big for the Flames. And he looked, not only did he come up big, but he looked good. He looked confident. He looked like he'd been an NHL starter for a long time. And I think that that's like a big part of this. I think a big part of him, or really literally anyone in any job, is just having the confidence in carrying yourself like you fully know what you're doing and could do it blindfolded, kind of like, fake it till you make it sort of deal. But Dustin Wolf doesn't have to fake anything. He is doing so well and just looks like a natural. And that's part of the fun watching him, is just how easy he makes it look. And one of the things that I learned growing up in sports and theater and dance was, if someone makes it look that easy, then they're very good at it, because they don't have to stop and think, or it comes naturally. It's second nature. And that's what I think a lot of these kids are learning from. They need to have that confidence. And I think that Martin Pospisil has that certain level of confidence and arrogance to him that translates to his on ice swagger and reputation. Should he be throwing elbows at people? No. Should he be scoring? Yes. Should he be helping Jonathan Huberdeau get his groove back? 100%. But there comes a point where, you actually do have to believe in yourself, and you can't just fake that. I think that all of these players believe in themselves to an extent, right? Obviously you want to come in confident, but not I'm so much better than everyone else. I know that I can do this. It's so easy. It's so, why can't you do it as good as me? And then just completely fall short, because that's very embarrassing. And it says a lot about you as a player and a person and as a coachable member of society and the team. But I really like what we're seeing from Connor Zary too. I think I had him pegged as a standout star for this season. He was going to be the Flames oh my God, look at him, on a national media scale. We saw him show up big for the Flames on Wednesday with the overtime winner, which was so crazy. I went to bed after the second period because I said, I need to get up early tomorrow, and I'm not watching them lose this game 6-2. Rasmus Andersson had scored, and I said, okay, well, at least it's not a shutout. Great. Well, go to bed. I wish I stayed up. But these are good moments and good forward motion and steps for these players. We're seeing everyone take the steps that they needed to take in order to maintain their status as an NHL player. And not even just an NHL player, but a good NHL player. I want to see more from Martin Pospisil. I do want to see, I know that he's having a really good connection with Jonathan Huberdeau, but I want to see a little bit more production from him. That probably sounds selfish. But, sometimes we're all guilty of overpassing. But just take an opportunity on one of those overpassing chances that you receive and shoot the puck. I do like what we're seeing from all of these guys. Dustin Wolf, like I mentioned, just looks so confident. Connor Zary is confident. Everyone has this belief. And I have talked about it for years on this show. If you believe you are an underdog and that everyone thinks that you can't do something, you are going to work so much harder to get it done. And that is what I feel like has fueled the Flames for years. However, there is still a long-term plan here, and that includes higher draft picks. And I'm not saying tank. I don't think there is no way you're going to convince professional athletes to pack it up with 79 games remaining in the season. It's just not how it works. And I really want to evaluate the Flames throughout the season. In a couple weeks from now, when it's American Thanksgiving, we can talk about this and see, okay, the Flames went 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, whatever the case is. But where are they? Where are they now? What do things look like? Are they still sitting near the top of the Pacific Division? Are we having a flashback to the Find Away Flames? What are we watching? And I think it's going to be a fun season regardless. I don't care. I'm excited to watch the young kids. I want to see Samuel Morton in the NHL so bad. I need to see that happen. I thought that he was going to be called up, but with Kevin Rooney being out, but they went with Kirkland instead. So, they make their strategic decisions for whatever reason, and they probably just don't want Sammy Morton only playing those few minutes a night. And that makes a lot of sense. But I do want to see him get a look at the NHL level. And that will do it for me here on today's episode of Locked On Flames. Thank you so much for joining me and tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic evening and enjoy watching the Flames game. I cannot wait to watch them, and we'll be back tomorrow to chat all about the game as well as any updates on Kevin Rooney and Sharangovich's situation or any other changes that may happen. In order to, stay ahead of the game and maybe get in on some news or opinions ahead of time, you can follow me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto, and you can follow me on Instagram at Jess Belmosto as well. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. You can find us here every day, Monday through Friday, your team every day. And until tomorrow, stay safe, stay warm, stay dry, stay cool, stay hydrated, stay moisturized, and remember to be kind.